Bringing land and sea together is about harmonizing land and sea data that would improve safety at sea, environmental protection, and aid socio-economic development in the North Sea region. Presently, North Sea countries manage geographic data independently, and there is little integration of geographic data over land and sea. Work Package 3 will identify and integrate geographic data sets. Without the sea, we have a seamless surface, but if we were to map it, what should we include as a minimum, and how can this data be provided? As a start, we need 3 things to be included: elevation, topology, and geology. Elevation is simply the changes in height over the seabed. This data is primarily captured for the purpose of navigation. Seabed elevation capture is focused around commercial shipping routes where safety of navigation is critical because of its relatively high costs. Topology is concerned with the features that make up the surface of the seabed. As with elevation, this data is also captured for the purpose of navigation. Its navigation focus means its usefulness is limited for other application areas. Geology is the sediments and bedrock. Typically, a National Geological Survey captures the marine bedrock and sediments. However, the data specifications for bedrock and sediments differ. We have 3 key challenges to address to bring the land and sea together. Differences in approach between data collected for land and data collected for sea results in the lack of seamless join between datasets at the coastline. Where the data is collected to well-defined standards, the differences can be easily corrected. In addition to the differences in data collection methods, the intertidal area is difficult to capture due to a limited temporal window governed by tides. As a result, the intertidal presents itself as strip of no data when the datasets are to be combined. Despite marine data being captured and managed to a single standard, there are ongoing challenges as to how datasets match at the offshore boundaries between neighboring nations. This situation is apparent in the North Sea as well as in other parts of the world. Work Package 4 tasks are to develop navigational tools that can enhance safety at sea. One tool is a 3D model, and this model was tested in Belgium.
Now we're actually testing it for the first time in real life. We have a piece of 3D chart over Zeebrugge with the approach, the channel into Zeebrugge. And right now we are with the Belgium Hydrographic Service survey ship Terstreep on the way up to the Zulu Buoy outside Zeebrugge. And we will try and follow the leading line on the 3D chart, entering the port and take us to one of the quays.
The background for creating the 3D model came with the aftermath of a major accident that took place in Norway on board the passenger ship Sleipner in 1999.
Although they had all the technological equipment available to them, they still didn't manage to find the right course for those couple of seconds that they needed it. So I thought, would there be some way of displaying navigational information in a way that they could recover with sort of, if they are in a stressed situation and forget everything they learn, can they recover just by using their gut feeling? It's very simple. It's like a 3D game, you can say. It's what you see is exactly what you see outside the window. But then we add navigational information. Like, for example, we have lines on the water that you follow. And these lines are actually the leading lines from two lights that you have on the shore. But in bad visibility, for example, you don't see those lights. But in the 3D chart, you have the line actually physically on the water. So you just follow the line, to say it simply.
The 3D model was tested in a simulator at Antwerp Maritime Academy. giving a perfect opportunity to test the 3D navigation techniques under different conditions.
I built an exercise entering the port of Zeebrugge with a lot of current outside of the breakwaters and then building up wind as well. And with a lot of fog, so the visibility was almost nothing. The captain who did the exercises had almost no other use but the normal radar and the 3D radar from Mr. Porret. On a normal ship you would never enter the port of Zeebrugge without tugboats, and here we were able to just try it. If you have a collision, it's okay, you can learn from your mistakes, or it's okay that it happens in real life. You won't take the risks that you are okay with taking here.
The 3D model is never supposed to be instead of the
yeah, it's not really navigation or for not for maneuvering.
Not for maneuvering and not for planning or judging distances. It's more like a tactical display.
The 3D model proved useful. The feedback from the navigating officers showed the need for a feature that will display the contours of the ship's hull and heading, in addition to the fairway. This and other helpful comments and features is a must from a navigational point of view, and will be included in the next iteration of the 3D chart. Work Package 5 is connected to the North Atlantic Information Management Centre. The centre was established by the Norwegian Coastal Administration in 2010.
The task of the Work Package 5 is to exchange maritime information, especially AIS information, between the countries in the region. So we can have an early warning, or we can be prepared as soon as possible if something goes wrong or something happens out there in the regional common water. See, there is a lot of traffic out there with different types of vessels. And if we, for instance, choose one of those vessels, we got more information about the vessel. This is a vessel from Norway, and we can scroll down to links to other lists. For instance, here you can see it's an offshore vessel.
Initially, we were tasked with developing this monitoring and exchange center, with everything that involves. After some careful consideration, we decided not to invent any new wheels, but rather to use the existing wheels that's out there already. So, and to assemble them into a vehicle which we now have and which we now call the North Atlantic Information Management Center. For the purpose of visualization, we have chosen to use an existing VMS-based geographical software. The web application that I'm talking about visualize the ship on a geographical background, geographical in the sense of maps. And the system is is very flexible and are able to display, in principle, any kind of map. I'm also convinced that our VMS-based platform are a very suitable platform to integrate deliverables from the other work packages in the BLAST project.
Maritime traffic information is important for vessel traffic monitoring centres, like the one at Kvitsøy.
A VTS is a traffic center that monitors all traffic above one specific size and give information and tell the ships how to sail in difficult situations. They also give clearance to all the vessels that want to come into the area and have the overview over all traffic that is in the specific area. We have in the log approximately 10,000 information a year to vessels. We have approximately 3,000 times we are active going in to regulate the traffic, and we have about 10 to 14 serious near misses in the area. The IS can can give us early warning about what is going to happen. It gives us information of the course, of the speed, and also the destination, so you know a lot about the vessel before you go in and give it information on the further sailing.
Unfortunately, there are no worldwide standard for information and exchange centers like we have today. Maybe in the future, with e-navigation, we will have these kind of standards.
You had to, in some way, build up some structures that gives you all the marine authorities the possibility to have the same picture. That means all the same parts of what's going on.
Work Package 6 is gathering information to get an overview of how the planning authorities operate in the different countries.
What we try to do is merge that together, and based on that developing a kind of decision support system which supports the different planners in the different countries in planning the use of the coast around Europe, both now but specific in the future, because we will see the climate will change and the effects of that we'll have to adapt to. So that's what we are planning to do in WP6. We are giving advice to many different kind of people in Denmark that are dealing with the coasts, and we would like to be able to answer some of their questions, and BLAST was a perfect platform for doing that. So you can see in this area how the flooding probability will increase with increased sea level rise, and we have all indicators: urbanization, we have tourism, we have coastal stability. Now there's dry, but it has rained a lot in Denmark, so the coastal cliffs will become more and more unstable, and we have erosion indicators. We have some very good indicators on the impact of climate change on our coasts. I like to see that we have developed a system that I think will be of good use, because it's based on open source, so everyone can enjoy for free. You can put your own data in, which gives you a possibility to adapt it to whatever your country's problems or challenges is. We have also made an overview of the different planning regulations there are in the different countries, addressing that we need these pan-European projects to learn from each other and also address a broader range of challenges that goes with climate change. So I think that's the most important things we've got out of participating in BLAST. I can see that in BLAST we are bringing the land and sea together, so we don't see the land zone and the sea zone as separate. And I think that will be good in the future, because I'll see a more focus from EU's side on integrated coastal zone management. And such a tool that we develop here and the BLAST project as a whole is an integrated project. So I think it's very good that we now have this project that are addressing that we are integrating both the landward zone and the sea zone.